Thank you for coming back, everybody. This week is chapter 4 of The Crown of Autumn. We last left our party members in a bloodbath of Atlantean annihilation. Gunnar, quite simply put, just bent some Atlantean sea people over and skull fucked them to death. Like all 8 of them by himself, covered in blood. He got hit once, took no damage. Like, bro, come on now. Are you done yet? Stab. Are you done yet? Stab, stab. Like, bro, you're showing off at this point, Terry. Come on. As we come down off of the adrenaline high, amidst a scene of carnage, hacked limbs, blood spatter in the river reeds, with the camera pans, not the camera, the house lights of our stage pan to the riverside as a pale woman in a white gossamer gown that is clung to her because it's wet. Her hair, not unlike I was about to make a Ring reference. The ghost girl from The Ring. Gosh damn it, I totally lost it. I had it and then I lost it. I completely destroyed immersion. My apologies. Her hair matted to her face and her orange eyes with a strange luminosity behind that like inky black, oily black hair, looking at the two of you from the riverside. Gunnar, would you describe your character for us, please?
Gunnar is Ithnikai barbarian. He's approximately 6'6", bronze skin, black hair, and is big and muscular. He's roughly what we'd call 21 years of age, and he is built solid. He is currently covered in gore from head to toe. And as the immediate battle wears off, he's succumbing to the after effects of Red Mist, which was his barbarian rage that allowed him to move upon these enemies like a proverbial lawnmower. Thank you, gods of dice, last time. What little wounds he's got, be completely shrugged off at this point. But currently, he drops to his knees, doesn't sense an immediate threat, and the red mist leaves him and literally deflates him. His weapon is nearby, but on the sandy ground of the bank, he drops to his knees and is panting. Still keeping an eye on the thing that's off to the side, whatever she is. He's not completely unawares, but at this point, he is physically spent.
Thurban, would you describe your character for us, please?
Raban is a Dawn Fairfolk. Currently cutting a wound, I believe it was to his side.
I believe so, yeah.
Staff in the other hand, an almost aura of frostbite slowly starting to dissipate as the battle ended. He watches Gunnar kind of fall to his knees, and he'll advance toward his compatriot. Raban and looks is kind of blood splattered himself, though most of it is his own, as he only got in a good couple whacks before Gunnar thoroughly washed the battlefield clean, so to speak. He does not have horns anymore, which was a key characteristic of fair folk, or at least his type of fair folk. So he is still coming to grips with that. I'm assuming those are still smoothed over. They haven't nothing has started to come in or anything. If he even knows if anything's going to come in.
No, they haven't started to grow back yet. So you've got like pits, like when a buck sheds their antlers, they got, for lack of a better term, holes in their head.
Right. Yeah. So that's him. So with one hand on his side and one hand kind of using the staff to walk with, he'll get over to Gunnar and drop down to a knee in front of him, while his like other eye is staring down this creature out in the water, where part of him is thinking, where the fuck were you 10 minutes ago? And the other part's thinking, fuck, we do not need this right now.
Oh, she just stands at like the extreme edge of the river. Like, you can't actually see this detail, but her feet, her bare feet, are in the water, like just as the water's coming up to the riverbank there. And she's staring at you guys malevolently. Completely stink-eyeing you, too.
So Thraban will look over Gunnar. Has Thraban being with around soldiers and stuff, has he ever seen the red mist before?
Of course you have.
Okay.
I mean,
So
there are barbarians amongst your people too, so.
Right. So he kind of knows what is going on with Gunnar.
He's like, yeah, no, you walk it off, you pussy. You can
Right.
do this. Come on.
He will kind of put a hand on Gunnar's shoulder and just like look at him like, you good?
I'm more than good, but I'm gonna need to rest. Just keep an eye on her. I noticed that the arrows stopped coming, but we should still get a little bit farther up on the bank in case.
Yeah. Are you good to walk on your own, or you need help?
I'll move on my own.
Which Thraban will start to look toward the Banshee again, but he'll give kind of like a side eye to Gunnar, give a little bit of a smirk and say, it's your first time, wasn't it?
Not exactly my first, but
you'll get used to it still. Thraban, he'll stand up and he will take a couple steps back, so he's not like the water can't lap at him if he was that close. But
Oh,
he will
no,
keep.
she's like 15 feet away from you guys. She's not within like reach out and touch distance.
Okay. Well, I didn't know how wide the river was either. So
It's all right here. It's a few
Right.
dozen yards. It's not exactly the Mississippi, but hey.
Right. Thank you, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
All right. Yeah, right. Like Mississippi, like Minnesota and Wisconsin border. There you go. That's
right. No, Thraban will look out at her and
you do notice now, and I actually looking out there, she's got an arm like in her hand. And she holds it up and she like takes a bite out of like the meat of the forearm, and she's like, and you hear this like rip. And she's looking at you guys. Yeah, just like that. And in like you guys have starting a fire there, and you've got some of the glow, some of the gibbous moon, and she later holds up this forearm, like elbow up. All right, she's holding it like this, and some blood's coming out of the stump, and takes a bite, and you can see a ring, like on the hand, like a glint from from the moonlight, and she just you're like, oh fuck, doesn't say anything, just
No.
fucking mean mugging you guys when she's eating
Right.
this.
Do you see that? She's eating that like a damn turkey leg.
Uh-huh. No, I see it. Trust me.
One
I
more
see it.
bite, that disgusting rip sound. She jerks her head, a little bit of her hair moves.
Crunch of a bone.
Gunnar
Christ.
is gonna go up the bank, whether he has to crawl.
Thurban just gonna like watch her for a second. Like, I'm gonna let her eat for a moment here. Don't want to interrupt the lady while she's munching.
She get like 4 or 5 bites through, and she's staring at you.
Right.
Still mean mugging you guys.
Yeah. Well, we look like a next meal, so yeah.
Do you speak to them? What is that?
Never seen a banshee before?
No.
Well, you have now.
I heard of them. I ain't never fucking seen one eat an arm like that. Shit.
I heard they were cannibals. I didn't know it before now though.
The only thing I recognize the name with is singing or screaming or
Yes,
talking.
They're the ones that
something
usually they're the ones that usually scream and you die.
Oh,
Like blood pour from everywhere, fall down dead. It's not a pretty picture.
she's not screaming at us.
Well, I mean, she didn't scream at us last night either.
No,
Well, she shrieked, and then Gunnar fell over. So technically, she did actually scream at you guys.
Well, we're not dead. Why we're not dead, I don't know.
Can you speak to it?
I'm gonna try.
Oh, you try. I'll guard the horses.
Yo, Gunnar said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." No,
Me and Magic don't get along.
Nah.
no. Thurbano look out at her and trying to think of how to do this real easy, like so we don't die.
Choose your next words very, very carefully.
Right. It's also a matter if she can understand me or not. What languages do I have? So just because it's the one that's been around right now, he'll probably start in the Mercian. If this doesn't work, he'll go to Feywise and last what was the winter language called again? The Iberian. But he's not gonna waver anything because obviously she's been mean mugging him, but he's gonna say my condolences on your loss. Can we help avenge you? And then if there's like nothing in between that, he's gonna be like, I heard you could help us get to other places.
as she's eating her arm.
Never get tired of hearing that.
No. Yet another disgusting rip of flesh and sinew. Like she's not a polite eater either. Like she's not making like any noises, like she's just smacking her lips or anything like gross. But she ain't ladylike about it either. There's nothing like prim and proper about eating a fucking arm.
Pieces dropping off, blood dripping down her chin. Yeah.
No, she probably the most unsettling part is like the tongue comes out to lick the blood off of her lips, and you're huh. And her tongue is a little longer than it needs to be. And like she's got a little bit of blood like dribble on her chin, and then it comes out around and then licks her underside of her chin, and then come back. I was like, God damn it, woman!
Hey, just remember, some people pay extra for that.
Right, yeah, right. I was getting there.
We don't kink shame in Arklinar, okay?
No. Given how the fucking things that people get up to in this setting, yeah, right. Don't blame the author for the character's actions, please. God damn it. In one statement, I just referenced like 6 games. But no, she licks the blood off of her chin, unsettling as fuck. And her only response is she cocks an eyebrow at you. I mean, her eyebrow is pretty, like between the hair, like it's nicely plucked and all that. It's the healthy looking eyebrow. She cocks it at you. Hey, she doesn't say anything. Rip, with the head jerk too.
The Braun will kind of like look down and like grab another arm that Gunnar probably hacked off of somebody, and like throw it out toward the water towards her. We need an audience with the Pike Lord.
Which language are you speaking in?
Which one did she seem to respond to? Because I did all 3 of them when I first spoke to her. I would have basically did like Nemersian. If she didn't respond, I would have moved to Feywise. If she didn't respond, I would have moved to Hyberian.
She just blank staring at you,
and then just
she's eating her fucking arm. Yeah, no, I mean, she cocked her eyebrow like she. So what language are you speaking now?
Probably Feywise. Actually, what does she look like? Like, can I tell what her race was from here?
Was?
Or no? Well, what
Banshees
was she
are fairies. Banshee means fairy woman in Gaelic.
Right.
They're fairies that act like undead. They're not a haunting in any way.
Oh, okay.
She's technically an unseelie fairy.
Oh. Then yeah, I'll do it in Feywise then.
So what do you say?
He would say, I need an audience with the Pike Lord. I was told you could assist with that.
She says, she replies, and I will stress to you, a hauntingly, beautifully sweet voice. I want the human. And she points at Gunnar with the fucking like the ulna in the radius out of the stump. Like she like points at him, a little bit of blood just like dribbles. So what Gunnar is hearing, Gunnar speaks Feywise, doesn't he? I don't think so.
No, I hear blah 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 blah.
And so she just what you hear, what your human ears hear. Now keep in mind, her in countenance, fucking scary. Mm-hmm. She looks like a goth drowned rat.
Right.
Very pretty, but if you'd like dried off and did her hair nice, she actually looked very fetching. But scary and drowned rat. When she spoke, she essentially purred something that was very, like, I don't know, scarily psychoerotic, and then shook a bloody stump at you.
He's caroused.
No, ma'am, no, thank you.
Small, but the smart part of your brain says, try it once. No. When when she does that, he'll be like, "What do you mean you want him? You can't eat him."
She cocks her other eyebrow at you. Now they're both raised.
Right?
And she says, I'm pretty enough for him.
I'm not saying you're not.
Complete deadpan, like she's fucking serious as a heart attack.
Right.
Like she stands up a little straighter too and cocks her head to the side. Like,
am I not
like
pretty enough?
This is fun. She doesn't do that, but that's exactly the look on her face.
Yes, you are pretty enough for him. But
I
we
want
have
him.
we have a job to do, unfortunately. He'll kind of point to the bodies, probably starting to float in the water from her now, I would assume. We're trying to get rid of them.
Let me have him first.
Are you going to kill him?
No. Blink, blink.
I should so do a sense motive on that one.
If you want to.
Like player wise, I know she's fucking lying through her teeth.
Watch Gunnar get like completely sold here.
Right?
No idea what's going on.
No idea what's going on, but he just got sold.
It's not the first time we sold somebody into slavery.
Right. We're not going to talk about the other time though.
The two other times, no.
We don't have a sense motive. What is that? It's not premonition, is it?
It's premonition, yeah.
Is it premonition? Okay.
Yep. A premonition is a hunch. You have a hunch.
Right.
Oh. I don't speak the language. Can I get a premonition roll on like what the shit is going on?
I'm pretty sure premonition is an everyman skill.
I think we did say that it was because that gut feeling, like danger senses.
I have a level 1 in premonition.
It's actually not an everyman skill, but danger sense is an everyman skill. Terry, you can actually choose whichever one you want.
Well, he did say he had a grade in premonition anyway. So
I have a grade in premonition.
So yeah, no, my statement still stands if you want to do danger sense or premonition.
Did you get a double 8?
I gotta show. Oh my god!
Did you crit?
Oh my god! I did. Why isn't this working?
22 for myself.
Oh,
seriously, double 8s. Man, I shit you not.
And then he gets sold.
No. This is premonition. I know what the shit she means. I'm getting out of here.
You know that they're talking about you. And
okay, well, that was just double 8s. They explode yet.
No, they do, yes, technically explode, but you don't have to. It's a success, Terry.
Double 8 means you succeed no matter what. Yeah.
Although that was a spirit, so I got to put like a asterisk next to my.
Ooh, there you go.
Oh my god, do it!
I just hope I didn't. My dice just didn't waste double 8s on something that's meaningless, because we could probably use those later on.
Okay, so we'll do Terry's roll first. Yeah, they're talking about you in a very intimate fashion. And it may or may not be to your best interest. And she's definitely taking a liking to you. Whether you'd like her back is beside the point. So you
I
can
didn't
really care
describe
if you
your
liked her
immediate
back.
feelings however you like.
Gunnar like places himself carefully on the bank where if I have to get up and run away from the river, then I've got my muscles in such a position where I can pop up and go. So, but I'm not trying to like actively back up. I'm just like,
Okay.
oh, okay. So
Oh,
that's what,
I don't like this at all.
No.
I'm frightened of you.
but I'm not, that he's making some type of deal or negotiation or conversation. So I'm not going to wreck it by just actively backing up. But exit stage left if I have to.
Right. So now, Mike, um, you think that she won't hurt him much? Obviously, she's eating an arm right now, so there's probably gonna be teeth marks.
Yeah, right.
Minimum.
How about I bring him back to you when the job's done? I need his help.
See how slick she can be about this. Where in the fairy realm do you want to go?
Problem is, I don't know exactly because we need to have an audience with the Pike Lord and with the Astromancer.
I'll take you to the the Pike Lord's court, and then I have the human.
Gunnar, how well do you think you can stand up to her bite?
Like in a fight?
I don't know. She wants you in exchange for taking us where we need to go.
She looks from Gunnar back to Thrawn, back to Gunnar, and she's got this like forgive me. She got that hungry feminine look in her eye.
She's looking like a tsundere getting ready to find her senpai.
Not
I don't
quite
understand.
like that. That's more like
Not quite like that.
fucking yandere coming after
yeah.
her prey.
That's the other one I was thinking of. Yeah.
I need you to tell me exactly what's going on.
So she will take us to the Pike Lord's court, but she wants you. I asked her if it could wait until the job is done, but she wants you after she takes us to the court.
Okay.
From the Pike Lord court, we should be able to find our way to the Astromancer to learn some more locations. However, she claims she's not going to kill you. I don't know if I wholeheartedly believe that myself. Consider she's eating an arm right now. But the fact that she hasn't advanced and screamed or killed us yet gives me some hope.
To which she's almost done with her arm.
Right. Well, she's got
down
another
to
one.
The wrist.
She's got another one like 5 feet in front of her that I threw out to her. It's fine.
She's fine. She's being fed. It's fine.
Yeah, right. She's fine. She's fine for the moment.
Do they have a weakness?
Magic.
Young human men.
Viral human men.
Virile, not viral.
Viral. Sorry. I mean, viral probably will probably be a weakness too. So
Does Gunnar have any venereal diseases yet? I'm sorry,
Wait,
Tara. We're really picking on you this session.
no,
mean-
that's all right. I got a post-it note. Ari Nara.
Yeah, yeah.
We have no idea what she picks up. They could pick up some weird shit. I'm just
That was
saying.
only a couple days ago. So
Yeah, right. It might still be incubating. It's fine. It's fine.
It hasn't. She might have syphilis, but it doesn't cross the species barrier.
Hasn't manifested yet.
Anyway, my apologies. I'm back in character. I apologize.
what is the pikeman? Do we need this?
The
I
Pike
don't
Lord.
understand.
The Pike Lord resides in the fairy realm, which is where we also need to go to see the Astromancer. Depending on where we go, we could get easier travel to the henges that we need. The Pike Lord was also the son of the King of Autumn, right?
Yep.
Narrator, yeah.
You're also geographically closer to one of the henges that is actually in the realm of the living.
Yeah.
And you've been there before, so you know where to go.
All right. I'm also thinking the other henges once we track down locations. But yeah, no, she's really stuck on you, Gunnar.
And you're not sacrificing me. This isn't some weird.
I like to think that I'm not. If I was going to sacrifice you as soon as she said what she wanted, I would have said, okay, here you go. No, I'm not like that. Come on now. If you're not comfortable, we can just hopefully try to walk away from the whole scenario.
How does she get us to the pikeman?
That I do not know.
Ask her.
But the all right, so Thurban will look back over at her and be like, and he wants to know how you can travel us to the Pike Lord's court.
Carefully.
Be using my words against me.
Painfully carefully.
Painfully carefully. All she says is carefully. Assuming she's probably done with that arm now, he will very tentatively ask, what if he refuses?
Ooh.
He has not dealt with ladies of your caliber often, and I believe last night you gave him a bit of a fright. So he is unsure at the moment.
I just kissed him. She said it with a little bit of attitude, like okay, so Gunnar, she says something. She got a little bit of sass to her, you know, a little bit. There's like, you know, women enough to be like, you know, regardless of what fucking accent or dialect or language a lady says, if you're paying attention, you can hear some sass in a foreign language. That's what you just heard. Like, she said some shit like she fucking meant it. And she said, no, I just kissed him.
I know that. You know that. He is not used to that.
Other human men would be happy to roll around in the mud with the fairy woman.
Well, I mean, you
Is he
did,
blind?
and he'll go. Thorbano kind of look at the battlefield. No, no, he's not blind.
And she says this next part with a little bit of concern. Is he simple?
No, no, I'm pretty sure he is very much intelligent.
Hmm.
But
Then what's wrong with him?
I think you just caught him off guard, and he is concerned for his safety. I don't think he knows if he can handle you or not. You are pretty enough for him, but I don't think he knows if he can handle you or not.
Wow. Thanks,
And
Dice.
and TPK.
She looks at you, baffled. Sheer, stupid bafflement on her face. She is stunned.
What is going on?
As she's stunned for a moment, Thorbano looked back at Gunnar like side eye. I asked her what would happen if you refused. She asked if you were simple and blind. I simply told her no, but you were unsure if you can handle her, and now we have this look on her face. I think he needs reassurance that you're not going to kill him when you have him. Also, how long do you want him for? Because I still have need of him.
Just once.
Just once. Then
Just
I get him back.
Yeah.
Without missing pieces.
She huffs at you. With this, like, you take the fun out of everything look in her eye. Does he need all his fingers?
Well, do you want him to cause bloodshed like he just did a couple minutes ago? Then yes, he does. You take away one of that man's fingers, he can't swing that sword like he just did.
What's a girl got to do to fancy just to get a roll in the mud?
Tell you what, and you have to talk to him about this as well. And I will play mediator if you need me to. But you help us, you get him once without bodily harm. And then if he agrees, you can have him again, and it's up to him what you guys do.
I'm waiting. She just looks at Gunnar.
And I will look back at
you.
I will look back at Gunnar and I will relay what I just said. You're muted.
You're muted, Terry.
Are you sure this is the only way?
It's the only way we got right now.
I'm not doing this for you.
Are you
I'm
doing it for
doing
the
this
stories?
For my king.
For the king.
All right, so Gunnar will stand up with his weapon.
Oh.
Wait for it. He'll make a great show of spinning it and putting it back in the sheath. And at this point, he stands up to his full height, and like this is total allure now, which I have a level 2 in.
Oh, there you go. Attaboy.
So this is a total gym move of up, putting the sword away.
Before you continue, Jim who?
GYM move.
Excuse me. All right, Jim. Work
He's
out.
A gym
flexing the
move.
muscles while
no.
he's doing
Yeah, right.
that.
There you go. There you go.
Ooh.
Attaboy,
Okay,
Terry.
so that's a 15.
Okay.
Like she needs any help.
Yeah.
And I will walk over directly to her. And as he approaches, he's going to put his hand out and put it on her neck and then pull her towards him.
Oh my God! Ah!
And it's like a dominant. I mean, like not like choking or anything, but this is going to be like a
Come here, you.
Yeah.
All
like
right.
blow on.
You're pulling the dominant move of making a hand necklace. Yes.
Okay. So we'll stop there, as Thurbon is not going to be like being a total perv and watching this. We're going to fast forward through all the romantic nonsense and say she rides you into the river there. Mud and all that nonsense. You're gonna need a hell of a bath because it's extra fucking filthy now. And spending intimate time with a fairy woman, dare I say, is fucking awesome. 10-year-old Steven, if you're watching this, get the fuck out of here and go do your homework. So a couple hours pass.
So does she respond to what I was gonna apply there? I mean, was that
Oh, she did. She bit your nipple off. That's all she got out of you. And your balls are empty. There you go. So after the arrangement is paid for, excuse me, after the arrangement is negotiated, she ferries you guys through the river, some strange underwater montage of dealing with fishes and frogs and the muddy underside of a riverbed, and you guys kind of like pop out of this upside down lake weed type of portal. The two of you haul yourselves onto what looks to be like a dock of some kind. And she was still with a slight blush on her cheek, climbs up onto the dock, carved of dark woods, and in the likenesses of swans upon this dock you guys are. But when you guys get out of the water, interestingly enough, you guys aren't wet. Like your clothes should be soaking wet. No, you're actually quite dry. Your hair is not messed up, but you swear by all the gods, old, new, and have yet to be invented or born, you were just swimming. Thrabon, your hair, your cue is still perfect and immaculate. Your writing utensils and your parchment, your journal, all of that, which should have been destroyed, is not. And you stand with her. But in this realm, this place outside of elsewhere, her hair looks nice. Like it's piled nicely in a very fetching coiffure. She has spun gold in rings that hold up her wavy hair. And Gunnar, you just got done rolling around with this young lady, and before she looked kind of scary and filthy and like fucking bog witch woman. Here, she's wearing a gown of like spun silver that has kind of like a constellation type pattern to it, and she's fucking hot. Like, oh, where was this gal 10 minutes ago? You're like, oh my God. And she turns to the two of you and she goes, here we are.
Can I understand her here, or is it just
Yes, here you can. Whatever is translating the language here, some elsewhere, sorcery, you can understand her. And her voice sounds infinitely more attractive and poetic here than it did in the other realm? And now, Thraban, because you've been here before, you hear the kind of like the sing-song voices, multiple conversations in the Seelie and the Unseelie tongues, but clearly this is an Unseelie court, autumn and winter. And out here on like the landing dock, so to speak, everything looks like fine and normal, but beyond this archway, you can see that there was an attack of some kind. There's dried blood, yellow and red blood spattered in places. There is a boat behind you at the end of the dock, carved in the likeness of a heron. There is a guardsman. You assume he's a guardsman. He is clad in a coat of, surprise, surprise, orichalcum. Mail rings, the that kind of that yellow, red, gold shimmer that orichalcum looks like. So it looks like a kind of a waterfall type shimmer that kind of like dances across his breastplate as he moves and he shifts. He's clearly a fae of some kind, armed with a stylized halberd, a pole arm of some kind. He does not wear a helmet, but fair of skin, pointy ears, black hair, worn long in a ponytail. But as you guys are ushered through, and this banshee, this fairy woman, guides you through the archway and into like the courtroom proper. Normally you need like there would be a herald to introduce you, to call, to herald you guys in, obviously. There is no herald. You are just left there. And the aftermath of a battle, as you understand, time in the fairy realm is strange. Time passes differently here. And there are people putting out small fires. They're trying to clean up the debris as a wall collapsed in. One of the pillars had been destroyed, so part of the roof has fallen, and you see the night sky up there. There is several soldiers kind of milling around and trying to form order here. There are other courtiers, very beautiful men and women, obviously all fairies. Clouds of pixies that are attempting to do things that would be appropriate for their size. And a couple satyrs, interestingly enough. I don't know if Gunnar has ever seen goat men before, but individuals, male individuals with short beards, ram horns, and goats from the waist down, clad in tunics and male coats, with swords from their hips, are also working to clean this place. And Thurban, you recognize the prince, Phenelon, who the last time you saw him was like an 11-year-old. Now, 150 some odd cycles later, kind of looks like a young man in his early to mid 20s. Again, time passes very interestingly and strange in the fairy realm. So he looks almost about the same age as Gunnar is. He's got a scar on his jaw that is still red, barely completely healed, and he is sitting not on the throne, but on the first step of the dais, with a cape, actually a bloodied cape, kind of tossed over the throne there, and it has a gold a crown of spun a guys with gold wire that is has some aspects of the pike fish scales and then the fish fins. They're actually sitting on the seat, but Phenelon is sitting on that first step of the dais with a few attendees around him. He does nothing. He says nothing. When the two of you, the three of you are noticed, a couple of the courtiers obviously had conversations to the sides about you, but no one accosts you or anything. With that, how do you wish to proceed?
Thurban, he'll walk up to where the pike lord is at, and basically he's going to ignore like the lesser court, unless one of them accost him, and essentially wait for the pike lord to actually pay him attention before he speaks.
Where do you stand?
If I am, what direction am I to him? And I'm like in front of him, basically.
Yeah.
So essentially, I would be probably 15 feet away if possible, slightly off to the right.
Okay.
So like if anyone needs to walk past me to get out or away, they have room.
Okay.
As for Gunnar and the Banshee lady, they can suss out what they need to suss out. That's not my concern at the moment.
Gunnar's just gonna step back and let him do his thing. He's not gonna do anything threatening at all. Just like complete, okay, I know that I am the smallest worm on the hook. So I'm just like,
let these people do their thing.
Let these people do their thing. The only thing I wanted to add is as she was getting us out of the water and leading us down here, I wanted to turn to her before I got too inappropriate with the nobility stuff and say, I have a horse I left on the bank whose name is Horse. and he's a good horse. If he is cared for,
How many more times are you going to say horse in this statement?
I would be most grateful.
Well, you're going to have your things back.
I have a care for a horse.
That's 4 times.
Say horse one more time.
She smiles at you affectionately and kind of just pats your arm, like the big fucking bulging bicep of your arm. He just pats your arm just a little bit. He'll be okay. Or he'll be all right. So, but Thurban, you walk up there into Phenelon's vision, and like you like he doesn't say anything. He's not moving. He's just got this stare of like, my world just fell the fuck apart, and he looks real shell shocked, and he sees your boots there, and you see his eyes go to your feet, and he slowly raises his eyes to yours, and he just kind of like it's not a smirk, whatever that is. It's not a smirk. It's not a smile. It's like, uh-huh. But there's just no audible there either. It's the weakest form of amused acknowledgement of like, all right, cool.
Yay, more people. Yay.
But it's not even that there either. It is a mix of emotions, and a lot of it is really sad.
When he looks at him, even if it's that whatever that is, Thurban will actually drop down to one knee, bow his head, look back up at the Lord, and my condolences. I don't know how much you know, but I'm assuming you know enough. He'll look around at the battlefield, and I see you guys aren't faring very well down here either, though. Well, not down here, but here either, though.
You can say down here. On the underside of a lake. Yes. Down here is appropriate.
Who attacked you here?
Those red devils. And the sorcerer.
Yeah, I've dealt with that sorcerer a handful of times myself.
Almost everyone's dead. The people that you see here.
What's left?
Yep.
And Thurban will actually look and do like a mental count of people.
9. Less than 2 hands. An entire court. Almost wiped off the face of the earth.
Right. Were they after something here, or were they just causing chaos?
Well, they took Father's crown.
I know.
Not that one.
I know.
He doesn't even look, but
Yeah, he
That one is
points to
his
the
crown. That he base or Orient is one. It's over his right shoulder. That's his crown of office.
but he took the crown of autumn.
Uh-huh.
This is why the seasons haven't moved.
That was 172 cycles ago.
How was that the henge?
I heard that a sorcerer was born again into this world. I did not know it was you. Who sent you back, or don't you know?
I heard a voice and I woke up in the tomb.
Well,
And then had to fight some of those red devils myself. And I met Muscles back there.
the prince looks at Gunnar, kind of like gives him like a very mournful but very weak nod. Like, you've been acknowledged, sir. That's about it, but he doesn't say anything. The depression is palpable here. So much so that it's actually become a corrupted area. You guys have a -1 right now.
So, yes, I am back. I'm actually going back to that henge to try to destroy it, as that is a small part to a big part of what the sorcerer is attempting to do. Do you know
I know where one other is.
where they're supposed to? I'm assuming there is 5.
There's 5. They make a circle, and at 5 points in a circle.
That's what I assumed, because at the one in the swamp, there was a smaller circle with 5 points. So I'm assuming it's mirroring the small one for the big one.
He tries to explain best he can. Well, Phenelon himself is a sorcerer,
Mhm.
A young sorcerer, but okay, for me to describe a fairy lord as a young sorcerer, he's like 9,000 cycles old. Young. He's an ageless fairy that who was last time you saw him like 9 years old as a human. So time doesn't fucking mean a goddamn thing here, but I'm trying to illustrate. He might be a 9-year-old kid next time you see him, because time is an asshole. He says the circle, ritual circle is, you know, circle magic. You stand at points. The minimum for people, sorcerers, magic users in circle magic is 3. You make a triangle. In this example, he's really oversimplifying it,
Right.
but he doesn't need to oversimplify it for you. He think 5 sorcerers in a circle to make a star, and he describes the pentagram
Right.
setup, and at the center is the henge. 5 circles in a circle around one henge, and he says 5 henges in a circle around
The center of the world. Except that the one in the swamp, he didn't use other sorcerers. He used Leshen. Well, no, he used sacrifices.
Something needs to be powered.
Right. Those were disgusting. I didn't like those. Just like the shivers for a second, remembering those things. Is there any word of them concentrating their attacks anywhere else? Because they're going after more items of power to power everything, as you probably already know.
I don't know.
But you said you had another location.
It's near to the coastline in the Ebon Vale. There's a big oak tree on a hill. A very large oak tree. You can't miss it. It's enormous. Even by fairy standards, it's enormous.
Okay.
It's near there.
Okay. So I think that makes 3 that I would know of now. Do you know of a way to see the Astromancer?
It's not, it wouldn't be hard to visit him from here. He has his own portion of the fairy realm, and you're here.
Right.
So you just take a little bit of a walk and you might find him. I don't think he is abroad at this time.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. When we have to return, what is the closest point to the swamp that we can cross back over at? I have not been down here in forever, and I do not know the geology as well as I should.
I believe that there is a well
Geography.
Near the coast where that henge is in the mangrove swamp, in an abandoned sea village. I think that portal is still active.
Sorry, taking notes.
And he points to the pool in the center of the court.
Mhm.
He says, you can use that.
Okay. There's talk of if you're going to take over when all of this is settled.
Who said that?
I cannot remember her name for the life of me. Because it was the Umbriad Queen that mentioned it, I thought.
Probably.
Yeah. I just can't remember her name, is what I'm saying.
Fetef. Fetef.
Yeah. Fetef, when we were at the war camp, where unfortunately my king has fallen.
Well, that's because Fetef wants me to ascend the throne.
Yeah. But I also had to fill them in on everything going on because none of them knew.
I don't want it. Which means if and when one recovers the Crown of Autumn, you'll have to find someone else. And I don't think I need to explain to you how important that task is.
About as important as the one we're on now. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it. Because I will get it back. I have lost too many to this bedamned red man. I will get it back. But yes,
I know
unfortunately,
that I'm out of my realm here, and I have no idea who any of these people are. But if this is the Prince of Autumn,
Quite literally.
how are you not going to take the crown that we're going to recover so our world can move on?
Ooh.
he might get eaten anyway. Watch this.
If your world was taken from you and your loving father was destroyed before your eyes, would you want anything to do with this place ever again?
I know enough that
Understand that I will live forever and I will have to look at this forever.
I do not pretend to understand your situation, but I do understand responsibility and honor and obligation.
Beautiful stuff, Terry. Thanks. I'm sorry. My expression is not in character. I'm just excuse me. I'm not here.
Throw an obligation into a face. Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the balls on you. God damn.
First he fucks a banshee and he talks shade at a freaking prince.
Uh,
I'm just honestly, I'm just bringing this in from where I came from. I'm hearing a prince who is like, nah, don't want to do my job. I'm like, whoa. Where I come from,
that's your job, damn you. If your dad dies, you take up the crown. Oh, guess what? Now he doesn't respond. He just like I'm trying to describe this best I can. The way you guys see him, imagine if like the color of him fades. Like, okay, so the way we see color normally, like our skin color, our clothes, and think of that, but like everything like slowly dims in color. Like you turn the contrast down and like the color goes out of him and he gets like grayer and not there, if you will. And he just says, I will look at this place and I will never forget what happened. I do not want the crown. And with that, he just looks at the floor and just like gets dimmer, if you will. He goes from like being here in like the flesh and blood of him to a partially faded adumbration. Like you could still like reach out and touch him, like he's physically there, but he looks more apparition now. Like the color, the grayness of him fades.
LeBron's like looking at Gennard, seeing if he's going to open his mouth again. And that just like give him that look like, are you done? All right. Humans, what are you gonna do? LeBron, he'll look back at the court and he'll give another bow. I'll leave you to your thoughts. Thank you for the information. We will probably be coming back through here again. I will let you know, or I'm sure you will know when the henge is destroyed. So maybe that will give us some modicum of peace in all of this.
He just nods.
Do you require anything else of me before we leave?
He shakes his head.
And Thurban will he'll genuflect again, give a bow, and then he'll turn to Gunnar, and he'll turn to the Banshee lady.
He's not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, she left.
Mm.
He walked off. Kind of creepily. Like she was
Right.
right there next to Gunnar, but now she's gone.
All right, Gunnar, you ready to go?
I am ready.
Okay. Where is, well, I guess, where is the closest exit?
There's a few. There's a few different archways. You could go back the archway that you guys came through. You go through a different archway. There's a few people. I say people. Fey kind. Going in and out of two side passages. It's really up to you where you want to leave. Keep in mind, the fairy realm is weird.
Right. I'm assuming when I spoke to him about getting to the Astrometric, he didn't give me a direction. He just said I could probably walk and find it.
Yep.
Okay. Not including the one that we came through, how many archways are there?
2. One behind the throne and one adjacent to the one that you came in. The one that you came through, whose like post and lintel, that archway is there, carved in the likenesses of herons. The one adjacent to it is in the likeness of pikes, the fishes.
Mm-hmm.
And another one is carved in the likeness of swans. The one carved in the likeness of swans is behind the throne. Very river
Mm-hmm.
themed, right? Water or aquatic themed. You almost step on a frog as you turn around.
Right. You say, whoops. Sorry there.
Nice big fat bullfrog.
Right. Gnar, pikes or swans? You're muted.
You're muted, Terry. Oh,
Swans.
Good. That's what I want to do anyway. So yeah, we will go to the one behind the throne.
there is no door, but you just walk through the archway. You're walking down a hallway, and what exactly are you guys thinking, the two of you, right now? If you'd like, you can give us a soliloquy as we go from scene to scene here.
Gunnar has no freaking clue what's going on. At least I can understand what people are saying, but I understand the words of what they're saying, not anything that they're meaning. What Gunnar got out of it was the bit about the prince not wanting to take on his duties, and that didn't sit with him well, especially now that he's understanding like this is supposed to be like changing seasons and stuff that he got before. And the trees are in pain, and these little puzzle pieces are still distant, but they're slowly starting to get a little bit closer together. And so, as far as Gunnar is concerned with his background, he's got like nothing but contempt for this whole business here. That they had some type of fight here 172 cycles ago, and they're still cleaning it up. What's up with that? That's weird. And so he is holding himself in nothing but like nonverbal contempt of this whole thing. But he's not going to say anything. He's just going to follow his lead.
Okay. Thurban,
Yeah.
what do we got here?
Urban, he's like as he's walking through the arch, his mind's just kind of like, I need to find the Astromancer. Like that's my next priority down here. And then finding that well to get back to the mangrove swamp. The sentence of him saying he doesn't want it and he refuses this does set heavily on his mind, because he knows that when, not if, but when they get the Crown of Autumn back, to find someone else to take up that mantle is going to be a harrowing experience. And he might as well be trying to find a new person to take up the cloak of the Grey Lord at this point. Like, it's that level of like life or death, basically. Like, it's that level of extinction event still. And like his brain will like drift to a couple of, fae and or fairies that he knows that it's like, well, no, none of those are good enough to take this up. None of them will be able to withstand the pressure of that. So that's kind of weighing on his mind. But at the moment, as they walk, they're going to this hallway. He'll push it down and just be like, "Gotta find the Astromancer. Gotta get our next step. Gotta destroy these damn things, and then we could deal with the crown after everything's done."
As the two of you are occupied with your own thoughts, you don't notice it almost until it's too late that the smooth tiled floor of the hallway fades away to kind of like the stony gravel floor of a cave. The stone walls fade away to the natural cave wall until Thurban, literally a lifetime ago, is standing in a hallway or a cave that he's been in before. 2 lifetimes ago, actually. when he was once known as Ilmatar. And there is the image of a palm-sized pixie being very upset with him that he didn't come back when his presence was requested, and having to deal with that. You're standing in the same spot you were standing in at the time, and you pause and you go, "Oh, deja vu," and here you are.
Right.
The slight distant sound of a roaring waterfall now distant behind you. Now turn around, and it's not the Pike Lord's court behind you. It is a cave. And you look out, the cave opening. There's the sun shining through the waterfall. And the two of you realize you are not in a place that you once were. But Ilmatar knows exactly where you guys are. Exactly where you guys are. How do you wish to proceed?
Is she out and about right now?
No. You are the only two in that cave.
Come on, Gunnar.
Now what's going on?
Travel doesn't work like it does topside, unfortunately.
I don't understand. Where are we?
Guess you have to refresh my memory, narrator. Where was that cave at?
It's the cave on the way to the Astromancer's Grove.
Right. I know that way. I'm trying to think of what was outside the cave mouth when we came in.
You guys are somewhere within the Woodland Kingdoms. Along one of the rivers. If you remember correctly, it's actually about a day's travel from a village that you haven't been to since you were a child called Firefell. It's a mixed community of actually humans and fair folk, and the humans all descend from 3 human heroes that were the only ones ever to actually be named Fey Friend ever.
So, and I want to have Gunnar make sure we're walking here, but as we're walking, I'm going to look at you. We came through this way, but now would be a few lifetimes ago, to look for the same man we're looking for now. So hopefully he hasn't moved. He'll point out the spot that the queen came out of last time they spoke, and if she sees me, we might have some trouble though, because I'm sure she's still upset with me. I was not able to return last time she called for me.
There seems to be this pixie woman, this fairy lady, seems to think that she can have the hots for someone who she comfortably sits in the palm of his hand. Like, honey, we're not even the same size. Oh my goodness. I know. But she sasses him like she's 12 foot tall.
Right.
And you actually pass by the stalactite that Ukion almost got. He's not Ukion, it was Shihan. And actually this will bring a kind of a bittersweet memory to you because Shihan's dead. But in this cave hallway, a a pixie warrior grabbed a fistful of Shihan's eyelid and threatened to put his eye out with a sword. And there was a standoff, like, I could smack the shit out of you, Mosquito, and lose an eye, but you would die. And for whatever reason, just the valor of this tiny swordsman was like, bring it on. Do it, do it, do it, do it. I dare you. I'll take your eye first. And but he was a colossus in like 4 foot tall frame with wings and everything. And that memory floats back to you. You may or may not get a little emotional because again, you were there when Shihan was slain.
Mm-hmm.
But I will let you narrate that if you wish.
No, actually, yeah. As they're walking, he'll actually put a hand on that piece, and he'll stop for a second, and even if Gennard doesn't ask, he'll still kind of like half tell the story and be like, "Should have seen the balls on this pixie. This man spoke with more sass than that banshee woman gave you, and more balls than you gave the prince."
Well, that
And
I have to respect.
yeah, they did. They did. And my friend could have just swatted him. One swat and he would have been done for. He wouldn't have walked away unscathed. So I wonder if losing an eye would have made him a little bit more perceptive of everything else going on. And okay, and he'll stop. And
When you talk about lifetimes ago, are you talking about my lifetimes or yours? Because the more that people speak to me, the more I feel like I have the life of a mayfly.
well, to some people you do. But this is not my first name. You've heard people call me by different names. In my culture, we have a name change when we die or we have something extraordinary happen that requires, to call it a reset of my life isn't the right word, but it's the only word I can use to describe it. I have been reborn multiple times, but I've only truly died once so far. I am actually on my 4th name. So when I say lifetimes ago, it was names ago, which was still cycles upon cycles upon cycles ago. So yes.
So what happens when we die?
When you die,
Yeah.
I assume we're going, well, barring that we die in enemy territory, which, I'm going to do my damnedest and make sure we don't do. I assume you will be returned to your people and your king, be interred as a hero, and buried in whichever way they see fit. If I die again, I might very well be put into a tomb like I was last time. Or I might get to go live the death that we all hope for, where I basically leave this world in peace and don't get bothered ever again. Come on, we got further to go. And he'll take his hand off and he'll start walking down the hallway somewhere.
And I will follow.
As you advance down this hallway, you those memories float back to you. Most painfully, the memory of the night that Shihan was slain. The sounds of the wind in the trees, those last words of the carpenter, the words uttered actually audibly. Gunnar will actually hear this. Disembodied voices. A male Faye's voice say, "Good night, lads. See you in the morning." And then, like, footsteps walking away. The creak of the carpenter's back door. The audible breathing of, at the time, Ilmatar laying in the hay and the sawdust of the barn as he listens to Shihan's breathing pattern slowly change from waiting for sleep to come, and then for him to know nothing as he entered the lands of Morpheus, to wake up to Ukion's mournful scream, an ear-splitting scream of Shihan's name, and Silmanos being finally somehow being able to wake up from the nightmare and to throw himself at the door, and for Haraka, the alchemist and the assassin that had come with you as mercenary, hot on your heels. You see the image of Ukion with his face buried in Shihan's chest as he very much ugly cries mournfully as Shihan's golden fey blood leaks out onto the pine needles of the ground. That image locked in your head as these four fair folk, or these three fair folk, stand over the body of their slain companion. And you step out into the sunlight, and there is the Astromancer's tower. Like the knot in your throat slowly crept up to the back of your throat, and you step out into the sunlight, and then it's gone. You're welcome for the post-traumatic stress episode.
Yeah, fuck off with PTSD. Fuck you.
Oh my god, are you kidding me? Thraban absolutely has PTSD.
Oh fuck yes, he does.
100% he has PTSD.
Fuck yes.
He has PTSD like General Kenobi has PTSD. Tell me Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't. I dare you.
Hello there.
Anyway.
No.
Weapon from a more civilized age.
Something definitely happened here, but I don't completely understand it.
And Thraban, I'm assuming you said that part out loud.
Yeah.
Thraban will actually look back at you because he didn't say anything when they were walking after they left the stalactite, and he's. What do you mean? How do you know?
I'm just getting, would you call them feelings or dreams, awake dreams, senses? I can't explain it. It's like nothing I've ever felt before, but I don't understand it.
What did you hear, feel, see, think?
No, I feel like it's when you walk into a room when people have been sad or fighting and everybody stops and looks at you and you don't have any idea what was going on. That's the best I can describe it. I don't know.
Thorban looks like he wants to like go into a story again, but then he just kind of stops himself, and he'll actually turn fully to look at you, and then he's going to look uh back into the cave deeper, and he like his mouth will open, but then he shuts it again, and then he'll look at Gunnar, and he'll be like, I think I've told enough stories today. We have information to get. And as he's doing this, he's not going to actually cry, but it's one of those like the eyes are misting, the face has sunken. Like that moment right before someone would like ugly cry on camera is essentially where Thraban is right now. Um, but right before he would actually like cross that precipice, he kind of pulls himself back together and he'll turn around and he'll just start walking toward the grove. Like Gunnar could tell, very easily tell that there was a story of what you heard connected to Thorban. Even if you have no idea what it is, he is not simply ready to relive it yet, even though he just got done reliving it.
And just from an in-universe canon, oh, this is going to be canon now. Gunnar just revealed to Thraban that he has the sight. So from Thraban's point of view, your companion, your traveling companion, has the sight that all sorcerers have.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
Right.
something you two will have to come to grips with at a later date.
Right. Which, at least at the moment, like Thorban would know that in the back of his head, but right now it is not consciously registering.
Like, I know what you just described, but I'm not
Yeah.
here with you right now.
Like if he had to say like what he thought, he figures that's the cave being a fey cave and fucking with their heads. So it would take a little bit for him to say, no, it's not how that works. Oh fuck. But we're gonna deal with that later.
But now before you, you walk across the grove. There is a tower there. About 4 stories, kind of a flagstone tower with a handful of windows and a thatched roof top. A roof. And it's very handsome looking, very well designed, very sturdy construction with elaborately carved doors, double doors out front, and you stand on essentially the front porch, a dry, tramped down dirt, a dirt patch there, which kind of serves as the front doorstep. And your horses are about just a few dozen feet to your guys' right, grazing nicely in the front yard.
This seemed to have come upon us a lot faster than I thought. Is this a friend or enemy?
Referring to the tower.
Yes.
This is where the Astromancer lives. Very much a friend. If
Fucking
this
hope he's a friend.
if this person ever actually became an enemy, then we truly have no hope.
All right. I will follow your lead. I want to go see my horse.
Yes, go see horse. As Gunnar is doing that, LeBron will go up to the door and he'll give 3 raps on the door.
3 raps on the door doesn't do a damn thing.
I swear if there's a riddle to this one this time. I don't have time for riddles.
There were 3 riddles last time. And guess who lost the fucking binder that had the riddles in it? This guy.
And I don't remember them at all.
No, I know the answers.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember the riddles. So Belgarath, how do you open a door? That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, right.
In the Vale of Aldor, how do you open a door?
Try the knob.
There is no knob.
There's no knob.
There's a knocker.
Right.
There's no knob. And you've just done the knocker.
Right. No, I was just joking at the whole thing of we're trying to open the door. It's unlocked. Just push it open. Oh yeah. Fuck.
By the way, Gunnar, the horses are perfectly fine. They're in perfect health. Like they're better here than they were the last time you saw them.
And so this is actually like my horse. This is horse.
Yeah, that's horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Horse
With
is there.
With the snow leopard pelt as the saddle blanket. The horse has his own blanket now. Like,
wow.
And everything.
I'm just gonna do a loop around and check him out. I'm like, this is number one, this is horse, but number two, he hasn't been mistreated or injured in any way. Wow. All right.
He's hanging out. He's doing him. He's grazing nicely. He is comfortable. He's wearing his snow leopard pelt, and he is sporting it like a prince, mind you. And yeah, I mean, he's immaculate health.
Right.
All right. I just give him a comfortable nuzzle and then I return back up to the porch. That's horse.
And of course, Torbrand is there too. Thraban's steed. Again, perfect health and everything, unsurprisingly. So, what does our sorcerer do at the door of the premier sorcerer of the world?
Right. Like he's actually trying to rack his brain on how they opened it the last time.
Oh, you remember you answered 3 riddles.
Right. But someone asked us the riddles, I think.
Well, no. No one asked you the riddles. They were engraved into the flagstones of the building, and when you answered them, they disappeared. There is, in fact, no script on the wall at this time.
What about on the floor?
Nope.
Shit. Either means he's not home or he's, I guess, sealed it off.
So I see him looking at the door and looking around. I'm like,
Like fucking Gandalf.
Yeah, right.
Did
Like
you try and
like I'll actually take my staff and like touch flagstones, see if I can something to happen. Remind me, how does speak without speaking work? 'Cause I know it's not something that we touch very often.
It's essentially it's telepathic thought. You basically, oh excuse me, fair folk can reach out with their minds to other fair folk and speak that way. Almost like it's essentially like Haitian Tindruk. They can projective and receptive telepathy but that's just their species. Dawn Fairfolk can do the same thing with everybody, or Fairfolk, Dawn and Dusk can do that with each other, or their
Right,
fellows, I should say. Having a hell of a time trying to describe that.
right. Um, I guess he actually will try to uh, essentially reach out to the Astromancer, hoping that he's in his tower somewhere.
What do you say?
Uh, what do you say?
Exactly. What do you say to essentially Merlin?
Yeah, right, right. Um, he'll actually use his first name, and he'll say Ilmatar, priest of the silent monolith, once again requests an audience with the Astromancer.
There's a long pause. And you hear a reply that says, "Is that truly you?"
I've changed names a couple of times, but yes.
Then enter and come and speak to me.
And he'll try the door again after giving permission to see if it budges.
What do you do to the door?
Well, since he was granted permission, he literally just tries to push the door open.
The door swings in.
All right. Dinar.
that seemed easy.
You wish.
You enter the lowest room of the tower, which kind of, it's like the front room, the whole first floor is essentially a like an entryway of a house. Like there are pegs to hang cloaks upon. There are racks to hold to hold weapons, and there's a few coat racks, uh trunks here and there. There is kind of like a hanging, suspended from the ceiling. There is a hanging, uh, almost like a chandelier, but a few swords and a cloak are actually hanging from this wheel, so to speak. Uh, uh, Swords in baldricks. There are a few boots uh off to the side. I mean, the Astromancer has company, or we don't know. But there are paintings on the wall depicting animals, scenes, uh Thurban will remember that I think a few of these are actually enchanted and a few of them are actually portals, so don't touch them. I have no idea what the hell you are or where you're going to go if you do. But no, you more than likely hang up one of your cloaks on one of the pegs. There are a few staves kind of like stuck into like a bucket to the side of the door. Almost like it's almost too homely here. Like you okay, so this is allegedly the most powerful sorcerer in the entire world, but like the first floor of his tower is like any front hallway of any hovel of a well-appointed house in anywhere in the fucking world. So, Ganar, you might look in here and you're like, oh, this place kind of nice. There's a fireplace that has a low fire in one side, so it's actually rather comfortable. And the door closes behind you, by the way. And it's kind of well lit and kind of warm colored in here. There is a stairway that spirals to the upper floor on the opposite side of the room. You go over to it, and you ascend the stairway. You get up to the second floor, which, not unsurprisingly, looks like a living room or a study. There are tables nearby, a small a place for a kitchen, if you will, an oven. There is a fairfolk in a yellow robe. He has strawberry blonde hair, and his horns are flowering in a fashion that it looks like they have like peonies, peony flowers, like red ones. And he's seeing to the preparation of something, and you Ilmatar in a previous life. You remember who this is? This is Einar. He's one of the Astromaster's attendants, and he turns, recognizes Thurban, and kind of like half smiles to him, waves, and does not say anything. Einar is a 7th level sorcerer himself. But he's like the live-in servant and or apprentice who could also crack the world. But anyway, he's preparing a chicken is what he's doing right now. And you ascend the stairway again to the 3rd level, which is wall to wall a library. And the Astromancer, with a beard that reaches his belt, a fairfolk, golden of skin, had once his hair was coal black. Now his silver sideburns almost now a stark white, joined together in a queue that is almost floor length. That is braided in almost this black and white pattern. His beard is also salt and pepper, almost an iron gray, black and white braided, but held together with an orichalcum beard ring somewhere around his navel. And he wears violet colored robes that look like deep space. Like the violet, blue, the violets, the purples, the blues, the indigos, the yellow and the reds and the oranges of a nebula. That seemed to shift ever so slightly if you look at it too long. he sits behind desk, and he finally looks up at you. Again, the Astromancer's horns are also flowering in a kind of like that red peony flowers. His fingernails are a tad bit on the long side, not unlike I make a Secret of Nim reference here. The movie The Secret of Nim. Nicodemus is long as fuck, pointy ass fingernails, and he uses this almost razor tipped fingernail to turn a page in a book. He looks up from his desk and he gives you a warm and welcoming smile. And he said, I felt a presence some weeks ago that a sorcerer had been sent back into the world. I did not know who it was, but I am pleased to know that it is you. What name may I call you now?
Now I go by Threbron.
He nods.
I believe I've gone through a couple since last we met.
He nods again. And he indicates the two chairs on the other side of the desk from him to for you and your companion to take chairs. And Gunnar, you look upon this seated ancient. This is the oldest thing you have ever seen. You ever seen a fae? The fae are always like youthful and like taut-skinned and nice looking. This guy, obviously a fae, but is wrinkled and wizened. Like, and his knuckles are kind of bulging, like fucking arthritic knuckles. His skin is still golden, like Threbon's is, but there is a pallor of eons that this thing has seen. You don't know if you're standing in the presence of a god or some other divinity, but you sense with your, I believe your occult is a 6. It's got a +1 to it.
Correct.
Okay. You sense with a preternatural sense that there is a presence here in that being of immensity. Unknowable, unthinkable immensity, and you cannot let your mind dwell upon it for too long because you might lose your mind. And he just non-verbally asked you to have a seat.
I sit without any fanfare.
The Astromancer leans forward slightly and says in the Nemersian tongue, my apprentice Einar will be bringing us up a capon. I hope that you like Rooster. There will be wine, there will be food, and there will be plenty of talk. You can rest well here. And when he says that, there's like this feeling of dead, warm calm just emanates throughout the room. You feel a presence wash over you like a warm surf. ripple against the walls of the place, and then back to you, wash through you again, and then tranquil as a lake at dawn. And you feel fantastic because of it. You were tired before because of the red mist, but now you could fight for days now. In the presence of this seated ancient, you feel that you could account for an entire country's worth of fighting men.
Which Thrabrawn's just kind of like watching Gunnar to see how he reacts to everything.
Gunnar is overwhelmed, like a child at a festival, but without any comprehension. And can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. For some reason, my earphones. So the red mist seems like years ago, and he knows he should still be exhausted from it between that and the sex with the banshee and the and the courts of the Fae. But the excitement of what he feels and hear more than offsets the exhaustion and the overstimulus of everything else. And so he's just in this like dreamlike ecstasy state. We're just waiting to see what's going to happen next.
What do you have for me, Thrabrawn?
I know you see a lot. After I came back this last time, I was able to finally inform the kings and queens and whatnot of what is actually going on in the world. Apparently, the reason for the stopping of seasons, the true enemy that they're dealing with, they knew none of it. The Atlanteans have been doing their job well, being a distraction. I am actually sent to go back to the henges and destroy them. We stopped and saw the Pike Lord and got another location. And I also have the location of a witch coven to search out later for hopefully a third henge. But I did not know if you might have known where any others were or anything that could help us rid the world of this man, to say the least.
I know where a few of the locations are, but I do not know where the last one is.
Well, that's okay, because I'm hoping that if we take out, the more of them we take out, the longer it's going to take for him to do what he needs to do. And I'm hoping that the more people know the truth behind what is going on, the closer we can get to settling all of this. Just wish the Atlanteans weren't pawns like they were. We should not be dealing with them.
Well, they've lost their goddess, Zenobia. She is a sylph queen. She's not a goddess. She's a queen of the sylphs. Like Phenelon is the prince of autumn. So he's He is a royalty of that court. Zenobia was a queen of her court at the summit of her mountain. Her sister, younger sister, is actually the Queen of Winter.
Has she been made aware of what has been done to her sister?
Yes. She fears that this sorcerer is out for her next.
He is going around and looking for powerful items. He took the Crown of Autumn. He took
The sword called Sunseeker was captured. I know that much.
from the tomb. I'm assuming he has more.
He has the ability to summon the Reaper King now as well. He has captured all of those rituals. And now has all of the components for that. That all of the primitive mortals of the West had pieces of for all of their harvest festivals. Yes, yes. We all live in interesting times, Serban. Congratulations, you've been reborn into a catastrophe.
This one's never seen a season change. He thinks it's just a story.
It's not. He turns to Gunnar and says, it's not. With finality, it's not. I wish I was some 8,000 cycles younger and I would come with you.
Well, the other problem we have is when I get the crown back and when I take care of this monstrosity, the prince doesn't want the crown.
Huh. Do you blame him?
I do not, but I don't know who else to give it to.
I don't think it's yours to give.
Well,
And it's not mine to give either. Don't look at me.
but I did tell him that would be a bridge we would cross when we get there.
Technically, by the will of Oberon, that duty would belong to Titania to assign the crown to a mortal. Fae or non-Fae.
Who's Titania?
The wife of Oberon.
Where's she at?
She resides in Fematras at the center of the world.
And I'm assuming she knows what's going on, obviously with her husband dead.
Oh, Oberon's been dead since the Hadean Age. Since before I was born.
Right. What was the king of autumn that died? What was his name again?
Avernale.
Avernale. Okay. Okay, that does raise a question. Does she know what is going on then?
Partially. She knows that her kingdom at the center of the world is under siege. From who? She does not know. She knows that Avernale was slain.
Is that where they're trying to get to?
Perhaps.
I just know they have this ritual within a ritual and they're trying to get somewhere. I've been told they're trying to get home, but I don't know how or where.
He probably wants to use the Circle of Communion in Fematras. The great star metal disc that allows you to speak directly to the gods.
Mhm.
If he can petition whatever god is assisting him in this, maybe this god can open up a portal for his people to leave. We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. Can the Queen of Winter not go to the Atlanteans and tell them what transpired to stop them?
She can't leave her court. Why would she do that? If there are assassins out to get her, why would she leave her court?
Can't she send someone?
She
They're
wants.
trying to find her sister.
I know that.
Everything would be so much easier if they weren't in the picture. Or at least on our side because they now know who the enemy is. Wouldn't them knowing how it actually went down help them help us?
How are you going to get them to believe you?
That's why I was hoping someone from her court would do it because I figured they would have a way to prove that she belonged to their court.
I don't know.
Because you figured that would also be in her best interest because if the Atlanteans were helping us stop the sorcerer wouldn't have as much resources to try to kill her next.
Maybe she's too afraid to send any
But-
of her people.
I'm gonna say, but Fae are Fae, and we don't know what we don't know.
You and I are both Fae.
But we still don't know what we don't know. So I am going back to the mangrove swamp after this to try to take care of that first henge. And then I have a location over in the Ebon Vale.
Yes.
And then you said you have a location or two.
I have a hunch.
I will take a hunch that at least gives me a direction. And I'm assuming once I have a couple of these, I could probably, hopefully, guess general location of the next one. If we are talking normal circle ritual magic here.
The ones that I know of.
Because he needs
The
to make his points.
ones that I know of. The one in the swamp on the coast. The one in the
Mhm.
Ebon Vale. And the one on the peninsula where the tribal Ateans live. On the other side of Giria from us in the east. In the southeast of this continent, Aurum. He references these two places that you've never been to before.
Right. Okay.
It is at this point when the apprentice Einar brings up the capon, and the wine. There is a cooked rooster, cooked and castrated rooster on a plate set in front of Gunnar, and it is inviting. Wine poured into a silver chalice.
Gunnar is like completely drooling, but like looking at the two guys, not really sure what's supposed to go on here, but this smells amazing.
The astromancer just looks at the capon and then looks back at Gunnar. He smiles and just says, Ah, right. I attack it with my face.
Attacking it like that banshee attacked the arm.
All right. All right.
Oh, why do you have to do that? You're just wrecking everything.
But no. The she she the Astromancer makes reference to the Court of Winter. She has sealed her kingdom because recently she had been informed by some of her people and some of her spies that scouts have been searching for her kingdom, and she has effectively sealed her borders out of fear. All portals to her court are gone, sealed or destroyed. But you're going to have to deal with whatever sorcery was present beforehand. Possibly one would open for you. And deal with those witches.
Yeah, I gotta deal with the witches. I'm sure you know Shion's dead.
I felt his life ripple and then fade. I know Haraka is also dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Ukion passed away shortly after. All three of them died the real death. You did as well, but you were sent back.
Still have no idea by who, though.
Because you're the beloved of the monolith, that's why.
And like when the Astromancer said it, he'll actually look down at his hand. Say, well, at least I'm still beloved by someone.
Your people are actually in Firefell, by the way.
Hopefully they'll remain safe there.
Oh, they'll be safe. Plenty safe.
And at this point, as they're talking, Thurban is actually going to use eating to cover up emotion for a moment,
Uh,
as he is starting to get misty-eyed again. Um,
the Astromancer proves himself to be an excellent host. As you both eat, he regales you with some stories of sorcery from the time before humans. And he makes a reference to the Wars of the Fae. And when the gods were young, he had met a young Lekra when she was a maid and walked the world as a mortal would before she learned what it is to be a goddess and then transcended existence to become that aspect of fury and storms. He makes reference to a number of different gods in this way. He does not tell a great portion of his own story, but he does tell the story of when his people were young and Awartheos, being the young parent that he was, the stag god, was not present for most of his children's upbringing and plundered the world of technology as well as crafts and such like. And the fair folk actually had to learn how to be a people by themselves. Terry, you've already read the essay in Arklanar. You know this story already, but now your character knows this. Player and character knowledge. And you debone your roosters, your capon, and oh my gosh, I personally have never had capon before, but I'm told it's delicious. I don't know how the fuck you castrate a bird. I don't know. I have no idea. But it is a way to cook a rooster to where like the only pleasure in the bird's life, because you've just taken sex out of the rooster's life entirely. The bird's only pleasure is to gorge themselves, which I think is like the chicken version of frogwa. Or geese gorge themselves. I don't know why, but anyway. But you got to castrate the rooster. That's particularly the culinary science there. How? I don't know. You guys are served capon. And it's fucking delicious. The Astromancer finally circles back around to the Queen of Winter is afraid that those assassins that went after Avernale are now going to be coming after her because her sister is gone. And she is horribly distraught. And it's very pointedly explained to Gunnar that when Feykind experience emotions, you can only experience one emotion at a time. And it is powerfully potent to the point where they shut down. And you saw Phenelon, the Prince of Autumn, almost fade away because he can't cope with the death of his father, and he can't cope with taking up the crown. His depression is too overbearing for him. Maybe someday. Maybe not. We don't know if Phenelon himself will survive this war. He might die of a broken heart. And with that, I believe as your characters finish their meal and their wine, we will go for closing soliloquies here. Gunnar, you have more than likely experienced the most revival and mystery and horror this chapter. So you take us away.
Gunnar is amazed at this whole experience and this last encounter with dinner and the stories. He is looking at this fellow as the turtle, and that's not in a disrespectful way at all. That he is flashing back to his childhood of a group of villagers who had captured a very large turtle and brought it into the village. And before it was killed and made into soup, the priests and the shamans had stopped them and explained that this particular turtle was so large and so old that it would have known our grandfather's grandfather. And as a result, this turtle was let go out of respect. And so as he meets this Astromancer, that's all he can think of is this is a turtle. Um, and he only understands about 5% of what this Astromancer turtle is saying. And he understands it's really important, but the history and the immensity of what he's saying is just washing over him like a story that makes him feel very, very small. But the but the capon was excellent, and he was so hungry, and he's still licking his fingers from that.
Beautifully done. Sir Bond, what of all of these revelations during this chapter?
Being in the Astromancer's tower, being up in the room with him, and as you kind of described, you get that wave of like safety among this man. Like, it might not be outside, but in here, everything's okay for the moment. Everything's safe for the moment. We're all going to be okay while we're in this room eating this damn bird. But with that, because his body's at ease, his mind now starts to get in on itself. And they'll see, throughout the rest of the time there, unless he gets distracted by something, it's going to be a lot of Thaban kind of catching himself before he has a breakdown. He recalls the Pixie Queen in that scene. He recalls, the night that Ukion killed Shion because of Endukaga's compulsions. He just recalls the adventures that the three of them had. And then when that party was dead, his mind now then goes to the other party he had and how they died on him, and then he died. And once his brain gets through all of that, he now goes to the bigger picture of, oh, now the Queen of Winter is sealed off because she's at risk. The Pike Lord doesn't want to do his job, and he might disappear. And in the back of his mind, he's still like, how am I going to destroy this henge? Am I power? He's actually going to doubt himself. Yes, he is given a lot of bluster of, I am going to get back to Crown of Autumn. I am going to kill this son of a bitch. I am going to destroy these henges. But now in the back of his mind, he's like, am I really going to be able to destroy these henges? Am I powerful enough to actually do what needs to be done? Or am I running a fool's errand because I'm supposedly the chosen one? And he's going through all of those, but then like at the forefront of all is just, I have to do it, because if I don't do it, if I don't get this done, we are all dead. And he cannot have that on his conscience. He cannot have that as his burden. Because now it's, if I fail, the fate of quite literally our land now falls upon my shoulders. And I can't fail. But outwardly, besides him almost having like a PTSD, crying fit, he looks collected.
Outwardly, he is calm. Inwardly is a mess. And as you are finishing up the last morsel of meat on your chicken leg. The Astromancer catches your eye from across his desk, and almost lazily he tilts his head and points to a side table near to a pillar that holds up one of the center portions of the room. On that side table there, those 3 books, those are yours. You're muted, Mike.
Damn it! I haven't been hit by that curse in a while.
Right?
No. He'll finish off the last of his bird, and he'll
Clean your hands. Don't get the grease on the page.
Yep. Well, of course. Little hand towel, gonna make sure everything's clean. He'll go over to the books and almost like reverently he'll pick up one of them and he'll open it up. Actually, he'll read. Is there like a title on them, or they're all just covers?
There are 3 volumes of the same series. It's called The Unveiled, which is the Unveiled Volume 1, 2, and 3, The Breaking of Enchantments. And you open these up, they're actually spells. They're the first 3 tiers of the Unveiled spell list in the enchantment circle. He's just given you the materials to now start studying enchantment, because you're primarily a warden,
Right.
wilderness magic, and now you will take on obviously this, if you choose to, you have the materials to become an enchanter as well.
Okay. Yeah. He'll
The first 3 spells are Dispel Lesser Illusion, Break Lesser Hex, and Dispel Lesser Enchantment.
Okay. Yeah. So he'll take the first one. Like he'll open up the first one. He'll like see the first couple lines, and he'll his brain will realize what he has in his hands, and he'll carefully close them, and he'll gather up all 3, and he'll sit back down with them in his lap.
Well, you try and do that, like half of the 3rd book falls the fuck apart because it's an old as shit book. And the pages fall out. You're, oh, son of a bitch, and it's just a plume of dust. And you just pick it up like it's just a disgusting moldering binder. And then you hold it, you bring it back, you sit it down in your lap.
Yeah.
And the Astromancer smiles and says, "An afternoon of light reading."
And the bond can't help but chuckle at that one just a little bit. Thank you.
I'm old, I'm not dead. I still have a sense of humor. And with that, the stage curtains will close, and we will bring this session to a close. And we'll be back next week with Chapter 5 of Crown of Autumn. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back next week. Good night, everybody.